but
Yeah.
I knew about it in high school, but
You
not
gotta
about
Google eyes
relationships.
before and after pictures of
Yeah, I'm gonna have
celebrities.
to for sure.
Yeah. Money changes people's faces.
Changes a lot of things for a
Yeah.
lot of people. I'll say that for sure.
JLo doesn't just look like that.
No, she
Oh
makes
wait, we're
herself
live
like that.
streaming, right? I mean, I love JLo. What a gem of a human.
It's okay.
I hope I'm dressed in that Versace dress when I go out in my Viking burial. Hello.
Hey, hi.
What's good?
Let's go. That's it. Things are pretty solid today. It's Monday. I think I've had a lot of emotions today. It's been crazy. It's not been
Monday
the
moods.
Monday moods spilling over from weekend vibes. I think that's what it was. I think it was just, I don't know, complex on a lot of different things.
What was
Yeah.
the weekend like?
Where did I go? On Saturday, I was busy. I had some extra, had a phone call. My friends came over, or one of my acquaintance friends came over to shoot on top of my roof because he wanted just some footage there. Um, and I had him take photos of me, which means I had to get makeup on, do my hair, and I was trying to do my curly hair, and I'm not good at that. So
I gotta
I
get
haven't
you
been able
some
to get it right.
products. Yeah.
I need good products that I know how to work with and how to like manage it because it just comes out, it's just wiry. It's curly, but it's wiry. My dad actually suggested I should get a perm. I'm like, I might not, I might get a perm.
No, don't get a
No, don't
perm.
get a
It's
perm.
just like a bunch of chemicals in your hair. Your hair's already curly. You either get a perm to
Mm,
make your hair super straight or super curly and wavy. Like
mm.
you use it to like change up your texture with chemicals.
So maybe I
Um,
should get like a curling iron.
no, I think you need to get like some leave-in conditioner, maybe some mousse.
Maybe some mousse. I don't have any
And then
mousse.
what kind of shampoo are you using? We could do this all day about hair, by the way.
Yeah,
We can get caught in a silo in a trap.
we'll do it real
I'll
quick.
go down the hole. I'll go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, I don't mind getting off tangent. Now that we have, okay, so let's just, we'll get the podcast started so we can come back to that. Welcome, welcome to the Strong Asian Lead podcast, everybody. My name is Masami Maria. We now have a co-host for today. We're going to try things out as we move forward. Not that I have any questions, but like, people, things, life. Maria G, everybody.
Hi, thunderous applause is what we're gonna put in there if we knew how to edit.
Yeah.
No? Okay, cool. What's up, guys?
Where's our intern? Just put the thing
You
there.
just sent me the description right now. I used to recruit hourly people from the schools, the college children. I used to go to career fairs in my
Mm.
past life.
Was that any fun?
Yeah, I mean, the kids were just like, how do I be a person? And I'm like, I don't know either. I'm just wearing a blazer and I'm a little bit older than you. But I wouldn't say that. I would say my little spiel about all the places I worked at.
How we're going to get you more confident. You're going to get good career advice and experience
Yes,
that
we
you
have a
can.
trajectory that has definitely worked and not something we just push on people to get them to
Heavy,
come to our company.
that heavy breathing. It, it just, yeah.
It's not a lie. You'll do great. Sending you hugs from here because I'm in HR.
Remember to smile. Well, Maria, thank you for jumping on the podcast. Yeah, and bringing really good vibes to my life. Honestly, we met through Clubhouse, and you kept reaching out to me on Instagram. We went to Chinatown time at one point. But I know I would love for you to introduce yourself to the rest of the audiences and who's ever here.
Yeah. Hi, who's ever here? Thanks for joining us. I truly can't see who you are, but thanks. So, my name is Maria. I am a former 9 to 5er. I used to work for restaurants in New York. I just moved to LA like 5 minutes ago, like a month ago. I'm a comedian, a writer, and I give high fives to people who have things in common with me. And if you're an introvert, I love you. Come hang out.
I'll high fives around. That's where we're at.
Yeah, I love a high five. Like, yeah, me too. Savage.
Have you done a lot of high fives since the pandemic started?
I do
Fist
a lot of
bumps?
like fist bumps. I do a lot of elbows, a lot of like the bro hugs, like the hugs that
Mm,
like bros
yeah.
usually do in like ordinary times.
Like
Um,
the pat hug. Just like
yeah, like or I'll do like if I'm wearing a mask, I'll do like the like acknowledge, like
Mhm.
what's up?
Yeah. Do you
I'm
do
in the
the
store.
Do you do the up nod if it's someone who's around your age, but a bow if it's someone who's older?
I try to do the bow if someone's older and like obviously make sure they go first.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
yeah, like whenever I see an older person and I'm like, oh my God, I like need you to be safe. Go in front of me. Like I'll walk behind you so you are safe. Especially in New York, dude, like people don't care about anybody in New York. Um, there's once this guy on a subway who like wasn't Asian, but he had a child in his hand and then a stroller. And he said, "Can you get her?" And it was this little kid. And I was like, "Do I pick her up? Do I help her down?" So I held her hand and started walking her down the stairs, but it was rush hour. And I was like, "Your dad's downstairs." And I'm like, "Okay." And I like rushed her down and put her down. I'm like, "I'm sorry, I touched your child. You told me to get her." I didn't know what to do. I gotta go to work.
But that's like so true though. I feel like I've not had that experience, but yeah, for sure. Like you just like go, you do the thing, and just like I don't care. I'm gonna trust the strangers with whatever.
Oh, I'm so sorry to any parent who's raising a child or multiple kids in a city. It's not made for that.
Oh yeah, and single parents too. Just like
Yeah.
I don't know how you're doing it.
Thanks for
Living.
existing, guys. And like,
Hmm.
making sure your kid grows up to be a human who is good.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And that's
Oh,
not what we're talking about today.
yeah. Well, I mean, today I think we're gonna kind of ease into it. Because I feel like now we're not, I don't feel like I'm having to rush because now what I'm doing, what I was doing for the past couple of weeks, it was just me just rambling and starting. So I might as well start on the topic and no one to bounce off. I don't want to just complain about my feelings. It just feels like
Yeah.
to myself.
Well, like speaking of feelings, what are you like feeling right now?
I knew you were gonna ask me that question today, and I was feeling um I think the best kind of term I can come up with is like complex. Um, Mainly
Okay.
because there's so many emotions that have gone throughout my whole day and this weekend. So I went to the beach yesterday, and I usually go to the beach to get away from my computer, because if I'm away from my computer, I'm just not going to look at the screen. I'm also going to less likely to look at my phone. I'll sleep. I'll write my journal, read a book. But every time I go to the beach, I forget. One of the reasons why I do go to the beach is to feel and look sexy. So
Interesting.
yeah, and I think I think a part of it is because, well, I also love that same feeling in New York. So when I was living in New York, I could be in New York walking around and I get a couple looks or a smile here and there, and you just pass by people. In LA, you don't have that because you're just in a car. You look at somebody, you're gonna crash. So
Oh, is that why people dress so like loungy here?
I like down.
Yeah, because in New York,
Yeah.
I just dress up or we're all black because it's like a run. Like every place you go is like people are looking at your clothes and what your vibe is.
Right. You never know who you're going to meet who you're going to meet just anywhere.
Yeah.
Here, you don't meet anybody unless you're going to a thing. So I've met people at events or meetups. I might have to look at a meetup and I don't know anybody there. I'm going to go anyways and I dress up. But if I'm just going to the store or if I'm just walking around, like if I want to go downtown, like I'm either going to take my car or my bike. So I'm not going to take the subway. I should take it, try once, but nobody takes it. And
I do.
you take it, you don't have a car.
Yeah, but like also it's just like regular. It's like not crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel
I've
like it's
taken
crazy down
like,
there.
but like I've lived in like Harlem and Queens and I also like lived in Boston. Like it's fine.
I mean, I love the subway in New York. I love the
Yeah,
subway in
because
DC and in anywhere, any Chicago. I don't think in Chicago. I didn't go to Chicago subways, but I would. But I think I've only taken the LA subway once, and it was fine. But I don't see any reasons not to take it now. Because like if I can ride my bike to downtown in 20 minutes, it's a good bike ride. But there's no reason for me to be having things, and it's
also,
free.
the weather here, I feel more pressure to walk around than to get on public transit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I took a bus today and I was like, oh, if I walked that would have been such a nice walk. But then everyone is in a car and it's like no one walks around here. Like for me, like a mile and a half is walkable,
Uh-huh.
right? But like there'll be like a highway, or it'll be like there'll be no sidewalks. And I'm like, what is happening in this place? This is not a city where people live, and they're all living in their cars.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's one
Yeah.
of the reasons why I left LA. It's just because it was like not, I don't know, just it's so isolating. And a lot of Californians who moved to New York, they'll say it's an isolating place because you're going from A to B and then B to A. You don't necessarily carpool with people. You don't meet somebody on the subway by accident. You don't have any interaction with people. Like you can just have to make a decision whether it's a violent, something that's very violent, something someone needs help.
What?
I don't know. Because like if something happens, like or like one of my favorite things is actually helping people. So when you said you took the guy's kid and moved him down, like helping mothers with their strollers up the thing, or older folks who just need an extra arm to do things. Or I helped a blind guy cross the street once, and I just told him all the things I was smelling and eating, and he was like, "Oh,
Oh,
you're speaking my
you did the
language."
Amelie thing?
Yeah, I love doing that stuff. You don't do that
Yeah.
here. No one likes that, and there's no one to do it with because you're not walking around. You're in your car.
Yeah,
I've only
just like
helped out one person.
open a door for like an old lady or like an old man. I don't know, tell someone where something is,
I literally,
or
well,
tell them like you have your phone, right? Like use Google, it's free.
I mean, I've done that. I've helped
Yeah.
people with the Google phone stuff, but like even when I went to H Mart today, I'd have to open up any doors because everything's just like walking to my car, right? It's one of those things. But anyways, one of the reasons why today was complex is because yesterday, I don't know if it's about every Asian guy or no, a lot of Asian guys. We grow up feeling like we're ugly. Like that's the TV tells us that. My dad told me that. Like when I was
Mm.
growing up, he was just like, I'm ugly and you're my son. So you're ugly too.
Oh my
And I just kind of grew
God.
up with that sense. So for the longest time, I just didn't have a really good high self-esteem just for my looks. And then when I went to New York, that changed a lot because I actually I developed and I tried to get a sense of style, um, moved on and you grow a mustache, all that kind of stuff. But then and came back to LA and it was fine because I was moving around from productions or from just place to place. But then the pandemic hit and I was just like living with my parents for 2 years. So it's kind of, I was like, what's the point? But then now I'm back in LA. I still don't go out very often, but when I go to the beach, that changes a little bit. I get a lot of stares, a lot of difference. And yesterday I went to one of the beaches and there were so many women there and they were almost all looking at me and it was really almost uncomfortable and I didn't know what to do with it.
Did you lean in? Did you walk up?
No, no,
Why?
I don't
This
do
is why
that.
you don't meet people,
Yeah, but
Mas.
I definitely don't want to do that because
Why?
I don't know. I don't know
Why?
why I don't. I think it's because I don't know if
Just
it's
do it.
half a the self-esteem problem or if it's
Just do
just like
it.
it's a group of women like
You need
there's
a
a
wing
whole. I
person.
definitely need a wing person to hype me up
Yeah.
and like back me up because otherwise I feel like I'm gonna get rejected. I'm gonna go sit back down by my lonesome. That feels weird.
No.
I don't think I'm gonna get rejected, but my brain tells me that's what's gonna happen. So I didn't. I literally had everywhere was staring at me. I had a woman next to me too, totally lingerie model pose. Well, it was, and I saw her for a second, and I definitely overheard them say, "Oh, I'm sorry, we got the wrong memo." And I was like, I just ignore it. I just ignore it all the
Why?
time.
Don't ignore
I,
it. Lean
I,
in.
I think a part of it is just that, and like I told you all the time, I just don't have time for people. I don't have time. I don't make time. I'm really busy right now, and I just don't.
You
I
gotta
make excuses.
prioritize time. Don't make
Yeah,
excuses. Don't do it.
but I also don't care about dating. I don't care about dating. That's
Don't
not
you
my.
wanna
Yeah,
I
it's
don't get
confusing,
it.
right? Yeah, I don't.
I'm an extrovert though, so I need to talk to people all the time or I'll die.
I'm
I'm
a
like
total
Tinkerbell. I
introvert.
need attention or I will die.
I'm a total introvert. I don't care. I don't need
Yeah.
the attention. I
That's
actually,
why I had to bother you. And so we
yeah.
did this.
Yeah. And like when I went to the
Yeah.
beach, if I was an extrovert, I probably would invite you out. I just like my alone time. I just
At
like,
least give them a head nod. Just be like, I see you
yeah,
there. Just put
I say,
your glasses back on.
yeah,
I'm assuming you wear glasses.
I see you and I use my yellow one so you can see my eyes and I smile and stuff like that. But and then you just, whatever. So, but the emotion felt over because I feel like regret. But then this morning felt that but I also feel hopeful. I know what I'm doing. I feel confident. Like that's weird too. I am confident, but I'm not confident. Um, and then I took a meditation nap and that felt really good. And then and I felt better. I got some work done. I went to the store and I'm like hungry, and now I ate. Now I'm here. So it's like, I don't know. I feel good now. That's why I feel like it's just complex and feelings. That's human, right?
Yeah. You should get an emotion wheel.
Mm. You just
Yeah.
spin it and just say, I'm going to use that one.
No, it's like it breaks down like all of your emotions into like 5 groups, and then you can see how you're really feeling and how to like best either like compartmentalize it or just like see like how you're actually feeling,
Mm.
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, if you need a therapist, I used to work in HR, so I got lots of people's and things that I've sent you definitely.
Oh yeah. I've definitely needed a therapist. I have not done it.
Please do
And we're not
it.
sponsored by BetterHelp. I hate those
No,
fucking ads.
but you know what? BetterHelp is good. Wherever you can find help,
Yeah,
do
I tried it
it.
a couple of different times. It became really weird because they don't, I don't know, it's like not inclusive enough
I'll
and it
send you
feels
my
weird.
people and then you can choose your demographic on it. And then it's like a lower price point. It's okay. It's more affordable than I think BetterHelp is. BetterHelp isn't affordable for everyone. It depends. Not
Yeah.
that I'm bad mouthing BetterHelp. It's good for a lot of people.
Nah, it's good for, I've used it. It's fine. Helping you through a lot of some stuff. Anyway, enough about me. About how are you feeling?
Wow, we're doing a lot of small talk.
That's
We're
okay.
good.
I don't care.
I'm good. I'm used to like a smaller time frame to do things. What am I into? I just moved, so I'm into receiving furniture in boxes and putting it together.
Mm.
I got a toolbox. I took some stagecraft when I was a youth in college, so that's come in handy. What else? I saw The Silent Sea on Netflix.
Mm.
So I'm really into Gong Yu's neck tattoo. Did you see that?
I haven't. I've heard a lot of people
It's
watching that
so
though.
good. Gong Yu's neck tattoo is 10 out of 10. Perfect. So good. Delicious. What a gorgeous man. He deserves everything good in his
I need
life.
a photo. I need to
I
see
want
things.
to watch him watch basketball.
Watch him watch basketball.
Yeah, apparently he's a basketball fan. We've
Mm.
looked into things that he's into. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah. Wow. How is the Silent Sea? I hear a lot of good about it.
It's wild. I liked it. I thought it was gonna be like a drama, like romantic thing. And it's like, oh, okay, he's gonna fall for it. And I was like, ooh, okay, sci-fi
Oh,
twist.
right.
Into it. Yeah.
This is the trailer I saw and I didn't move forward with it. Yeah, it looks really
Yeah.
cool.
He's a gorgeous man. That's all I'm gonna say. Speaking of gorgeous people and gorgeous things, should we get to our hot topic?
Yeah. Well, I would love to talk about this topic because I know I've talked about it on Clubhouse before in our early days. Um, but you brought it up and I was like, let's get back into it. So I think it's really important because it's such a nuanced conversation that there is no right answer. And I think that's the best kind of conversations where there are no right answers, but just a lot of opinions. So cross ethnic performances. I think there's a lot here, not only between Asians playing different Asians, Asians playing Asian Americans, Asian Americans playing Asians, non-Asian playing Asians or Asian Americans. Yeah, a lot of thoughts. A lot of thoughts. What you brought it up, so I'm curious what your take is on this.
Yeah, I mean, I have a semi joke slash semi truth that I think it's one of the reasons why people can't tell us apart. They keep putting the wrong one of us in different ethnicity things and like, oh, it's all rice to us. Whatever one looks like you is gonna be there. You got the emotions, you can memorize the lines, you know your mark, do it. But honestly, if someone's last name is Park and you're playing someone who's Chinese, I'm gonna know. We're gonna know.
Yeah, like white Hollywood doesn't know. They don't see the difference. But when we watch it, we're like, no.
They know though, because
No, I don't think
they
they do. No, I don't.
they know
Why
because
do
they
they
don't
what
greenlight enough stories for us to
but,
separate.
but why do they keep asking where are you from? Or what are you?
That's why
I
we
don't
got
think
to
they know.
change it up.
I don't exactly to your point. It's like they don't know. And so they keep asking, what are you? Because they can't get it. They can't even get it by the last name. Just get my last name. My last name's pretty, it's either very Japanese or very Jewish, which I found out. Mariah, right? Maria. It's
Shut up!
Maria.
It's Jewish.
Well, it's Moria because Moriya, Moria. But a lot of people will say Mariah. And then Mariah is a very Jewish name,
Ah.
Moriah. But you can also spell it the same way, Moriya. But they'll say they don't never say it's Jewish, but I found out it is a Jewish name. So it's either those two.
Oh,
Which I don't know what one.
L'chaim.
Yeah.
What a mitzvah.
Oh man, I wish. But yeah, but I think that's a really good that they should be doing that. But do they care? I think that's the thing too. They just want to cast Asian. Now they're working better. I'm getting a lot more. I'm seeing a lot more casting calls.
All the better.
Well, even for the Sympathizer that's coming out, they were casting Vietnamese people, and I was just listening to the Asian Not Asian podcast, and he's like, I should go out for it, but he doesn't speak Vietnamese and be a Vietnamese role. That's why I think it was like today was like Asian Americans playing Asians. If they can't speak the language, if they don't have the time, or even just the accent, can you do it well enough that's believable?
But even like Asians having to learn each other's accents because of it is really fucked, right? Like,
yeah.
I think I was in an improv show and I saw a woman who was Chinese and she did a Filipino accent, she did a Korean accent. And I was like, girl, you're Chinese. Why do you gotta have so many things on your roster? Like, why can't you just be cast as you? Right? There are parts out there, there are stories that should be told with you. And yet you're here pretending to be Filipino for no reason.
Well, see, I think that's another part of the problem is that there are stories that could be told with those roles, but there's not enough. Right. So the people are just trying to
not
get
enough
a job.
that are being greenlit. They're out there.
Right.
Not enough things that are being
but actors just need a job. They don't care. That's really the issue. So there aren't enough being greenlit. So that means they can't be going for casting auditions for those roles because they're not being greenlit. So they have to go for something else and they just need a job.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like people like, okay, here, like I always kind of go back to like Kim's Convenience is a really good example because most of the actors were Korean except for Simu.
Yes, that's on my notes.
Right. But I think I thought it was fine. Right. If you can play it, it's not about being Korean. You didn't have to be super Korean, but also he didn't have to have the accent. He didn't have to know the language too much. You can always learn some of the language. But he was also Canadian Korean as a first generation. Right. So he didn't have to have that. But also the story being mostly about Korean, just a Korean American family. Most of them are Korean. I think that's okay. Now, if you go back in time to 1994, All American Girl, did you ever watch that?
I did not. It
was a very short-lived one season it was a Margaret Cho show, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Margaret Cho.
And I'll send it to you. You can watch it. And it's Margaret Cho, Korean American family. Margaret Cho is the only Korean American. Everybody else is Japanese or Chinese. And that became a problem. Became a problem with the Asian community, mostly because they're like, their accents are terrible. You can't say even the ajimas correctly or anything like that. And it's just there. So they're trying to do but there weren't like a whole lot of Korean American actors at the time.
I think there were, but they just didn't get, they either weren't repped or they weren't the right people weren't being seen. And the connections weren't made, right?
And they might not be comedians.
Yeah, right? I don't think the answer is that there's not enough actors out there. I don't think that's the.
But in 1995, that comes a little difficult. I think. Like, look at the time period. I don't think there was enough to make a whole family.
Sure.
That was that way.
Not the case now, though.
Not the case now, right? Exactly. So now we're way past that. But I'm just, for example, that was a switch from Kim's Convenience where one person was Korean versus one person was not, and I think that becomes, as long as most of people are authentically, you can do that.
But white people don't have to compromise like this. That's why I'm like,
yeah.
How come you can't compromise when we got to?
Sometimes. Well, see, the argument there, like, I agree, but the argument there that I get a lot too is like Jewish characters don't do that. They really try to cast for Jewish other roles. So that totally makes sense. But like, if you're Irish, there might be one thing, but it. They might not be an Irish role. It'll just say anybody, because it didn't have to be anybody specifically. It wasn't an Irish American family. It was just an American family. Usually don't cast an Irishman if they're doing it. Now, what I would like to see, like to your point, is we just want to cast a family and didn't have to be racially done. But if you were casting just a family and he was Irish or German, no one would bat an eye.
Well, it depends on how ethnically they're leaning, right? Because there are like German people, and then there are very, very Irish people who like have the accent, right? But same thing when it comes to like Asian families, there's Asian American families, and then families who are like from Asia. Like, it depends on how cultural, I guess Asians are more culturally leaning in media or portrayed as that than like an Irish family or an Italian family.
Yeah, well, an
Except
Italian
The
family.
Sopranos.
Yeah, exactly. It's Italian family. They'll put it out there. It's like I'm an Irish, an Italian guy, but
Yeah, they're
they won't.
spicy. Fra
Yeah,
Diavolo.
but they won't. But it's not less. It's like they're looking at the flyover states, right? They're looking anywhere between all the Midwest, all over above anything above Texas, right?
Yeah, where they come from.
Right. But it's like they don't. If you were to cast someone who was Irish, German, Scottish, Swedish, any of those, they wouldn't care because that's like part of the demographic that's already in their minds. But when it comes to Asian culture, Black culture, Indigenous, Latinx, it becomes too culturally different, I guess.
I think it's just inauthentic versus not versus like authentic and genuine.
Actually, you know what? I just kind of came up with this. I think it's more that the media portrays each of these other cultures as less than or enemies, right? Asia, China virus, you got
And siloed.
yeah, you only see that part of the culture. You don't see Asian American culture. Black culture, you're going to be stuck with any of the regular stereotypes with the Latinx. Everybody else has a stereotype except for whiter characters, right? If you get Irish, you're like, oh,
they can be anything
jolly.
they want. They can be Superman,
drinker,
Batman,
singers, like all that stuff.
Anything you want.
It doesn't matter. They don't have necessarily negative stereotypes. And if they're negative, it's like, oh, it's anybody has. Whereas everybody else has been given a stereotype, so they can't.
Or it's been tokenized.
Yeah.
Gotta have one of each in the college brochure.
Those pamphlets. I'm starting to see more that don't have white people though. I'm like, oh, interesting.
And then one Simu Liu like fits in one of them from the stock photos that he did. That was my favorite thing.
I know. I'm trying to get more of my stock photos, so when that ends up happening, I can sell that NFT. Good.
I think you should put yourself in as many scenarios as possible and just like put it out into like some Reddit and be like, guys, put me into things.
Oh, I'm trying. So, that's good. Actually, good idea. Just put it in Reddit.
Yeah. If anyone's on Reddit and you see Moss's face, put him in any situation you want, anything, whatever you think his face fits into.
Cool.
I'll
give you, I'll go on a green screen, just pose a bunch of different ways.
Yeah.
Photoshop me. You got
perfect. Anything you want. Make
sell me
crazy gestures.
Make it an NFT. Give me the 10%. I'm good.
Don't hold anything that's longer than it is wide.
Yeah,
it's not a good idea.
Got it. But going back to our cross ethnic performances, I think there is. So I've been talking about Philip on for the past couple of weeks or so. I actually stopped for a while, but he was one of the first. He's the first Korean American actor in Hollywood. He was known as the #1 Korean in Hollywood.
Oh no.
Yeah. He was, because it was 1930s.
Okay.
Like 1920s, 1930s. He was Anna May Wong's neighbor. And they lived down the street from each other. They rode to work.
I remember this. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And he would drive her to work. He would drive her to the studio. One day I was sitting in his car. Somebody called him over and said, "You come over here. Come over here. You an actor?" Like, no, not really. You're gonna be an actor. They told him you're gonna be an actor, and he is some famous other actress. And they told him, the director came actor. Another actress told him, "What are they paying you? I'll pay you double," something like that. And so he came to an actor, but he came during the 30s and 40s, or during the 30s. He was very not Korean. He was playing a lot of Chinese, some Japanese. But when World War II hit, he was always playing the evil Japanese villain. Only the Japanese villain or a Chinese camaraderie, like helpful person to be helpful with the Chinese. Yeah.
Oh no.
So he was a political pawn within the Hollywood system to put as a stereotype. Out of 100 movies, only 5 of them was he ever played Korean.
I believe that fully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's also just, we don't know his name. We don't know his person. I think he's such a good, he only died kind of sort of recently. Like in past 20, 30 years. And so I just think he was like the number one for cross ethnic performances because he played everything else. Whereas Setsue Hayakawa only played Japanese, Manami Wong, which only played Chinese. He was like one of the first actors to do this and played so many roles.
Yeah, it's crazy that it started so early. My first memory of that was, and it was super cringe, Mickey Rooney
Oh yeah.
in Breakfast at Tiffany's playing Audrey Hepburn's neighbor. Oh my God. I remember that as a kid being like, oh, this can't be good. I knew it was wrong. I couldn't pinpoint why it was wrong when I was younger because I grew up in Boston. I was a speck of yellow in a sea of white. And it was hard for me to say, like, hey, this man, he's not actually, but he's playing without them being like, he's an actor, but also, kid in the 90s. I was seen as, it's a novelty. They don't it was hard to explain.
Well, that's another, actually I just remembered that I have a whole list of podcast topics that Emmy and I came up with in the beginning when we first doing the podcast, and Yellowface is one of our topics. Like that's a whole podcast episode of just understanding who's done Yellowface,
and unpacking that
and unpacking it. What do they think today? Some people care, some people don't care. Some people defend it. Some people, I'm sorry.
You're defending this?
Yeah, some people were, but it's just, yeah, they don't get it. But if we'll keep that Yellowface performances for another topic. But
we'll put a pin in it.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. But having to talk about
a more recent one as well.
Mm-hmm.
That show that rhymes with like Memily and Maris, that show.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, gorgeous actress in it named Ashley Park. And she plays a Chinese heiress in it. And she's incredibly talented, super lovely. However, girl, not Chinese, her name is Park.
Is she not mixed?
I don't think so. I think she is fully Korean, and girl looks Korean. And I didn't see Shmemley and Shmaris, but I did see some clips of her. She's gorgeous. She seems very nice. I think if she were like playing a Korean thing, that'd be even better. Why not just change it?
Right, exactly. So that I haven't seen it, so I don't know what the story's about. But I think that's the thing that people need to start looking at and working on, is that
if they say, not a knock against Ashley, she's just doing her job, and she's
have no knock against any of the actors. I've talked to other actors who I have problems with the show. I'm just like, you're just the actor.
Right.
you're working for a job. You need to get a job. Great, you got a job, and you got paid and get to be on TV. That's great. They don't have any power. They are the part of the paint brushes and the paint on that painting, and they don't get a say.
I don't want to like I don't know, minimize the contribution that actors make to a project. I don't, but it's something to be considered when casting people. Is this a casting director thing too? Is this like an agency thing? There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle that make up the system that creates this monster that is cross-ethnic performance. Is that what it's called?
We'll call it for that for now until we find out.
Okay.
That's what the book calls it. I think it's very specific for a three-word thing.
I was like, it's the mixy uppy or miscasty thing. Keep on making us each other.
Yeah, miscasting is not a bad term or something. Yeah. But and I'm not to discredit the actors. Sometimes they do get, they have put a lot of work into it, and that's not saying that. Just rarely do actors get any say in how they're presented as ethnically, or how the story's portrayed around them. Again, if she's a Korean woman who's having to play Chinese, but there's no reason for that story to be Chinese, then they could have changed literally a few words and a last name to be Korean. Yeah, right? I think there was I actually recently heard a story that they did that. I don't remember what show it was.
They should do it more.
They should do it more, and then
she could have some contributions to the writing. She could be in it as a writer.
Yeah, and just bring in parts of it, and you say this is you like the role, you like who I am. Now I'm Korean here. We can have what types of food, just change the food on the dinner table. That would make so much difference and be the best, right?
People would feel seen.
Yeah. Asians wouldn't feel confused.
And you can make more money. You can make more money because we're ethnically being represented correctly. Oh, look at that.
More people will watch it. Here. We won't have to bash it.
We'll make it rain for you if you do nice things for us.
Yeah, we will be able to say, oh, I'm not going to, whatever. There's more money to be made when you do it that way.
So much more.
People don't understand that. I don't get it.
A little bit of work on the back end, and then you can make way more money.
Way more.
Yeah.
Way more. I mean, I'm super excited for Pachinko on Apple, but I'm sure you're going to do a good job with it now because I feel like they've done a solid pre stuff and from the writing. But I did see on the Japanese forums today, they're like, "Are we worried that this is going to be just Japanese bashing?" I'm like, that's a good point. It's a good point.
Yeah, I need to get Apple TV.
Yeah,
I was just gonna ask. I was like, I just got HBO Max. I'm gonna switch passwords. But if you don't have Apple TV, because you use that thing that you were talking about before, the VPN, right?
No, that doesn't change anything. That just gets out of the country. If you wanted something, let's say, like for example, Run the Burbs. Have you watched that yet?
No,
you probably haven't because it's also in Canada. Andrew Fung. I don't remember everyone's name.
I know the Fung brothers.
Not the Fung brothers.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure he's not part of the Fung brothers. His name's Andrew Fung. He was Kim Chi on Kim's Convenience.
Nope, different.
Yeah, very different. Very different.
Yes, very different.
It's like someone's.
Oh no, I did a racism.
You did the Asian thing. I've done the Asian thing on here.
I did a racism just now. I got a very famous YouTuber mixed up with a very well-known actor.
Right. Yeah.
I am sorry to both human beings.
Same names. I get it. But he's Vietnamese.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's Vietnamese. That's why in the show. That's why I think that's the other thing. I think he was playing Korean on Kim's Convenience, but he's Vietnamese. Pretty sure.
Oh, they even named him Kim Chi, right?
Right. Yeah. I'm like 85% sure he's Vietnamese.
Who made
from
up
Fung,
that
right?
Name Kim Chi for a Korean friend.
Yeah.
You were not a person of Korea. There's no way. You were like
maybe we could have done it too. Either way, his show Run the Burbs is Vietnamese and South Asian family, and it's a sitcom. It's really funny. I need to catch up. But you can only watch it in Canada. So if you want if you use the VPN, you put yourself in Canada, you can watch it.
Oh,
that's the way that kind of works. You can remember change those things.
Like when I stayed in Airbnb in Mexico and they had Rick and Morty on Netflix, but we don't get Rick and Morty on Netflix.
Oh, interesting. We get Rick and Morty on Hulu.
Yeah, we just got it on Hulu.
I've been watching it for years and I'm just waiting for a new season.
The new season's on Hulu.
Really?
Yeah.
What season's that?
5.
5? Okay. When did they just put that out? I've been trying to watch it forever.
2 days ago.
Really? Okay. So I'm really just behind. Okay, cool. That's good to know.
I was just waiting for it. I'm a real big fan. Justin Roiland, text me.
I probably watched 1 through 4.
The carrier pigeon.
1 through 4, like 2 or 3 times just because I watch it. It's so
such
stupid.
A good show. It's such a good bad show.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. So I think going back. So what are your thoughts on Asians taking a lot of Asian American roles, or just generally getting more I feel like the conversations nowadays is like it's a lot of Asians getting big names, big popular, very famous. Not a lot of Asian Americans having that same popularity.
I think like a lot of Australians are doing the same thing with like American roles as well. Like you see like Malaysians and like English people getting, or like not English, but like British English, getting Asian American roles, like Henry Golding in Crazy Rich Asians. Like that man, I was like, oh, he is not from here the way his English is. I'm from here and I sound like that. So you can't. I don't know. It was just very clear that he was not from here. I'm okay with it if it's done well. I mean, when I see Idris Elba play Americans, I'm like very excited, but also Idris Elba makes me excited. I think it depends on the intentions behind the role. and what it means to people. Like if it's for a romantic comedy, it's like, yeah, have fun with it. But if it's for like, I don't know, like a based on a true story thing, try to be as authentic as possible.
Sure.
Um, was Minari one of those with Stephen Yoon?
Yeah, but Stephen Yoon's from here,
Right.
but the rest of the other actors, maybe not the wife, but they were Korean. They were from Korea,
Yeah.
which that makes sense. But I
Is
think there's
there a ratio thing? Is it like a
yeah, well, see, okay, so I've been part of the MANA group, which is the Media Action Network for Asian Americans, which has been around since 1992. They're fucking, I love them because they're like vocal about things.
well,
But
I
we're
know
trying.
Invite Bro.
I just got in contact with them, but they've just
Oh,
been around.
I'm just
They're
kidding.
like old. They're like older, and they're an old generation, which I respect them so much because they've done so much. I have one of the founders on a podcast interview, and I will drop it when we drop everything else. But we're trying to figure out what that Bechdel test for Asians is, right?
Mm,
So like we thought about it, like it's not the accents because you can have Asian Americans with accents even if they're not from Asia.
right.
But I was kind of like one of my suggestions was the writers and behind the scenes need to have a certain percentage because a lot of the shows I'm seeing like Shang-Chi, Kim's Convenience, Warrior, and what was the other one? Oh, Cobra Kai. More white people than Asian people's on the writers.
Yeah,
Cobra
and
Kai
Cobra
has none,
Kai. Yeah, Cobra Kai.
literally none.
There's no way there are Asians on that show.
No, there's two Asians. One of them's an asshole. One of them's a nerd. And the creators told Mana, we're going to put more Asians in the show this next year. And they didn't.
I'm not, you're naming it Cobra Kai. You don't have any of us in it. It's pretty, no, it's like when the female Ghostbusters was based in Chinatown and there are no Chinese people, even extras. I was like, you couldn't give us one.
Yeah.
And they filmed it in Boston, Chinatown, my home Chinatown.
It's lame. So it's just, I think that's a percentage I'd like to propose as well. Maybe one other too, some other time, but that's the biggest thing. So now I see percentage wise, I don't know what that percentage is. So I'm not going to say any numbers, but there's really good sense that any Asians who can speak English are getting more roles than Asian Americans. So like I'm looking at Paul Sun Hyun Sun, right? Kim's Convenience, and he's getting a lot of the Star Wars roles. I got Henry Golding, you got Ronnie Chang, you got I'm thinking oh no, where's Jimmy O Yang from?
I think he came here when he was younger, but I think he's like from here though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Sandra Oh, she's Canadian.
Yeah, she's from Canada.
She's been around. Canada.
From America's Hat.
But she's been around forever, so I don't like she's here. But I just feel like there's a lot of Gemma Chan.
Oh my god, she's so hot.
Right, but there's not a lot of Asian Americans getting that rise and same sort of fandom or stardom. They're just not.
Awkwafina.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things with Awkwafina we gotta unpack though.
Either way, I respect her for her work. I was watching her during her music video days, and I was like, "This is fucking, you have 1,000 listeners. This is fucking cool." And she blew up real fast.
Justin Min, I'm so happy to see him in more things.
Justin Min.
He's in Umbrella Academy. He played that ghost with the hoodie. I think he was in another thing pretty recently. I'm glad wait, is Randall Park Canadian? No, he's from here, right?
He's from here. Yeah. He's from San Francisco, Berkeley.
Who else?
Yeah, Justin
There's others.
Min is from Cerritos, California.
Where's that? Is that here?
Yeah, it's around here. It's I only know it's Cerritos Auto Shop because it's a commercial.
Is that where the cute Asian guys reside? Do I gotta start swiping right
Cerritos,
there?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll swipe right there.
VPN to Cerritos.
I'll just stand there and I'll swipe right. Okay.
But I think it's just a conversation because that's something that's people are talking about. There's not a lot of love for where that Park's been around forever, but he's not getting.
Oh, Ali Wong.
Ali Wong, I'll give her that. Yeah, for sure.
She's crushing it.
Oh yeah, crushing super hard. Ali Wong was the other person I was thinking about too.
We were talking about Olivia Munn, and she just had a baby. Glad you had a baby. Good job. Made more of us. Um, there are people who are around. Oh, Joe Coy.
Joe Coy. Yeah.
I love his head.
Yeah.
So shiny.
Yeah. I think there's that part. And well, my gripe is always that the legacies have never been given their dues. And they've been around for long times, 50s, 60s, and 70s. They've been working really hard. We don't know their names. We don't know that they've done, and they're not getting those roles. They really should.
Who I want to give a shout out to? I love Wong Fu. I haven't seen a ton of their stuff lately, but I love them. I think they're really doing the Asian American community really proud. Even after 20 years.
Yeah, I need to look into them a little more. I know they have the new show on Netflix with their boba, spill the boba tea.
That's right, with Margaret Cho and a bunch of other people. Okay.
Yeah, I saw some of the other stuff. I didn't. So I'm shifting my necessarily opinion, but where I started watching them was in college. And I really had a lot of internalized racism back then. Did not see Asians, and every time I saw productions like this, it was that's not me. That's not me. There was another group, I think it was Nigahiga, that I was like, no, my parents don't have accents. I don't like being made fun of. I don't like these things. I don't like, this is not me. This is really, it's almost, you're
assimilating to the systems that were put into place.
But also
you're going to be different. Yeah.
But also I don't like being made fun of for being Asian. Whereas something like Nigahiga was doing that all the time.
Well, and so it wasn't really about that anymore. Yellow Fever was
right.
That one that they had.
Right. Yeah. And I'm not saying Wong Fu, and I think I maybe confused him a long time because I was really bashing him for a minute. But now they're just doing so much, and I think that's what's good that they have that. They have their commercial deals. They've done McDonald's, all those things. I think that's really important for the community to have a production company that's continually working. I'm just sad that they don't have bigger things. I don't know if it's their choice or if it's systems not letting them, but they've been around for so long and consistent work that they should be having to have more work. And I do have to leave pretty soon, so I wish I didn't have to.
Yeah, maybe it's a capacity thing. Maybe we'll do one where we just shout out the ones that are doing it really well and talking more about their work and helping them get bigger. Also, if they want a writer who just came from New York yesterday, I'm fucking down. I will swear less. I don't think they swear on their stuff.
Yeah, they're pretty homegrown.
No, I mean, just kidding. I don't swear ever.
You know the Fung brothers then.
I think I talked to Andrew Fung once. We got dumplings. But yeah. This was fun.
This was cool. This was really good. I'm glad we got to chat for a little bit. Off topic. I don't really care about being on topic or off topic. Stick to it sort of, but I think it's more important that we just have larger conversations and consistently. I miss having the Clubhouse days, but still trying.
I don't miss that at all.
Yeah. Why don't you miss it? Why?
Because I like people.
You like people?
I want to see people's faces and talk to them and just hug them. And being 20 minutes late for a thing that I'm supposed to be on time for, I don't know. Clubhouse was just I also got off it really early. I got on it early and I got off it early because they started letting people in. They started notifying me about people I've blocked on my phone.
Their notification system.
And they found me. And I was like,
oh, really?
I don't want people to find me. Goodbye.
Oh, that's fucked. Yeah, I don't like, I will say about Clubhouse, I don't like their notification system. I turn it all off. I'd love to keep it on just to see which my friends, but they make every person a notification. I'm like, I can't turn everybody off. I just want to turn people who I like on. I'm it's dumb.
And that's my dating history as well. Those words.
You just want to turn them off.
I don't want to turn everyone on, just the people I like.
Yeah, true.
Just that.
Right. But they're all turned on. So they're just trying.
No. Don't touch me. Talk to me.
6 feet.
Personal space.
Yes. Bubble hair. All right, Maria. Thank you so much. Let's come back every
heart.
Hearts. Is there another hearts?
Hard. Oh wait, no, just kidding. Wong Fu.
Oh, your audition, you blew it.
Wesley Chan, I want to try on your glasses. Okay, what do we do for goodbye?
I don't know. We're just gonna say goodbye, but yeah, we'll see you next week. We'll come back and just keep chatting about different things. We'll do yellow face next week or something.
Oh no. Oh wait, no, but is that what we're gonna do the next time?
Well, also next week is Valentine's. I don't know if you have anything on, but
I might have a date. I don't know yet.
Okay,
See
if
how
you-
the date goes tomorrow, and then we'll know for Valentine's Day.
go for it.
If it continues.
Yeah, if you can't be here, don't worry about it. I'm going to try to be here. We are trying the best we fucking can to launch our website and the networking platform on the 14th. We'll see what happens this week. I have some good feelings and some like, okay, we've still got some things to fix. But that's the plan. But I will be here. This is my streaming time.
Let's do a dating one.
Yeah, we'll do a dating one. Can we do dating rom-coms? Let's do like movies. That we're not Agent Not Agent or David So. We're entertainment. So we can do dating ones. Let's talk about rom-coms. There's a lot of good. Did you see Love Hard? Love Hard was good. There's the other one.
When you say good,
I loved it a lot. I watched it twice. In like the same week. It was the other one. The last is like the last chance or the last date where the wife got sick or he got sick.
I don't like rom-coms, and we'll talk about that in our discussion about rom-coms.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that too.
Okay. All right. Bye.
All right, bye. Thank you. See you later. All right, let me just stop it.
Stop.
If I stop the
Let it go.